Welcome learners. In this video, we are going to discuss about the supply chain contours. Let's go into the basic concepts first. What does mean by the supply chain contours? We will discuss about a definition. Supply chain contours refers to the structure and the characteristics of a company's supply chain. It encompasses the different components that make up the supply chain, such as suppliers, distributors, warehouses, and transportation systems, and how they are integrated to deliver products and services to customers. The next is importance of supply chain and understanding of the supply chain contours. Understanding supply chain contours is critical for companies to optimize their supply chain operations, reduce cost, and improve customer satisfaction. By knowing the contours of their supply chain, companies can identify ineffectiveness, bottlenecks or the obstacles, and areas for improvement. The next is types of supply chain contours. As we discussed in the earlier videos, the supply chains are horizontal, vertical. Just like that, we will have vertical supply chain contours. The vertical supply chain is one where a company controls most, if not all, stages of the supply chain, from raw material supply to the finished goods. This type of supply chain is common in industries such as oil and gas, where companies extract, refine, and distribute their own products. Next is about the vertical supply chain contours. The vertical, already we discussed it, the vertical supply chain, which is mostly used in the distribution of oil and gas. We discussed about it. Then the horizontal supply chain. The horizontal supply chain is one where a company focuses on a specific stage of the supply chain, such as manufacturing or distribution, and partners with other companies to handle the other stages. This type of supply chain is common in industries such as electronics goods industries, where companies outsource manufacturing to specialized factories and they will once again assemble it. The last method is hybrid supply chain contours. A hybrid supply chain is a combination of vertical and horizontal supply chains. It allows companies to have greater control over certain stages of supply chain while partnering with other companies for the rest. This type of supply chain is common in industries such as automotive, where companies may own their own manufacturing plants but outsource other parts of the supply chain such as logistics. What are the factors which is affecting the supply chain contours? Let's go one by one. Number one is the industry characteristics. Every industry have their different characteristics, and different industries have unique supply chain characteristics that affect supply chain contours. For example, the automotive industry requires complex supply chain that involves many suppliers and manufacturers, while the retail industry requires supply chain that can handle large volume of products. A company strategy is the second point which is affecting the supply chain contours. A company strategy also affects supply chain contours. For example, if a company strategy is to be vertically integrated, it may choose to own its own manufacturing facilities and also the distribution channels. So that will affect the contours also. and about the product characteristics. The characteristics of the company's products, such as their complexity, their size, and weight, can also affect supply chain contours. For example, products that require specialized handling or storages may require different supply chain than products that can be easily transported. Those type of materials, for example, oil and gas, or if you know about very delicate materials, inflammable materials, those materials should adapt a different supply chain. For example, the examples of supply chain contours is Apple. So Apple is known for its vertically integrated supply chain, where it consists and controls every stage of the supply chain from design to retail. By doing so, Apple can maintain high levels of quality control and ensure that its products are delivered on time, so there will not be any delay. Likewise, Amazon's supply chain is known for its horizontal structure, where it partners with the vast network of suppliers and manufacturers to offer a range of products. Amazon's supply chain is also highly automated, with robotics and AI used to speed up their fulfillment. The best practices, what we can adapt it to manage the supply chain contours is the strategic alignment. So strategic alignment involves ensuring that the supply chain is aligned with the company's overall strategy, and this means identifying the customer's goals and objectives and ensuring that the supply chain is designed to support them. For example, if a company's strategy is to be known for fast delivery items, then its supply chain must be designed to facilitate fast and efficient delivery. You can take McDonald's as an example, or the Pizza Huts and other products, even the Amazon products. Collaboration. Collaboration is essential for effective supply chain management. This involves working with suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, and other partners to ensure that everyone is working towards the same goals. Effective collaboration requires clear communication between the links or the parties, mutual trust, and a willingness to work together to solve any sort of problems. The next is the performance measurement. Measuring performance is essential for managing supply chain contours effectively. This involves tracking key performance metrics such as lead times, fulfillment rates, and inventory levels. By measuring performance, companies can identify areas for improvement and also make data-driven decisions to optimize their supply chain operations. Let's move on to the contours of the supply chain. These contours refers to the various elements that make up the supply chain, including the suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, retailers, and the customers. Suppliers are the first contour of the supply chain. Suppliers provide the raw materials and components necessary for the manufacturing of the final product, and it's important to maintain a good relationship with suppliers to ensure the timely delivery of quality of materials, timely delivery as well as the quality of materials. And timely delivery also talks about the cost effectiveness also, because of the time they cannot go and adapt flights and air cargos. They should use only the optimal time delivery transportation, and also the quality of materials. Just because they want to deliver it very quickly, they cannot just supply the materials which is defective nature or of lesser quality or some mistake driven qualities. So the Contour talks about here with the manufacturers, and the manufacturers take the raw materials and components provided by suppliers and transform them into finished products. Manufacturing process can be complex and require careful management to ensure quality and efficiency. The third contour is the distributors. The distributors are responsible for transporting and warehousing finished products until they are ready to be delivered to retailers or end customers. This often involves complex logistics and inventory management to ensure that products are available when and where they are in need of it, or when and where they are in need. And the fourth contour is the retailers. Retailers are the final link in the supply chain before the end customer. So, retailers purchase products from distribution and sell them to customers or the consumers. Effective retail operations require careful management of inventory, marketing, and customer service to ensure that customers are satisfied and products are sold at profit. Finally, the last contour is the customer. Customers are the ultimate king of the market and the goal of the supply chain, as they are the ones who purchases and uses the products that are produced by various manufacturers. Understanding the customer needs and preferences is critical for the effective supply chain management. So, the customer's point of view is always they want the product to be delivered on time with the proper settings, with the proper packaging, labeling, branding, everything they needed in a proper methodology, and at the same time the supply must be reach them on time. So this is what the final point regarding the contour. Then coming back to the conclusion part of it. In conclusion, supply chain contours refers to the structure. So you try to understand the structure and the characteristics of the company's supply chain. And underlying supply chain contours is critical for companies to optimize their supply chain operations, reduce cost, and improve customer satisfaction. And there are three main types of supply chain contours, and that we discussed it: the vertical supply chain contour, the horizontal supply chain contour, and the hybrid model of supply chain contours. And we also discussed about the various factors that affect the supply chain contours, which includes industry characteristics, company strategy, and product characteristics. Effective supply chain is the chain which the management requires a lot of changes to be done. And the number one is the strategic alignment. So what is the strategy you're going to follow it? That should be aligned according to the supply chain model. And also the collaboration. What all the collaborations you are making it, you should also consider their design as well as your design, and along with the performance measurements. By implementing these best practices, companies can optimize their supply chain and operations, and they also gain a competitive advantage in the industry. Suppose if the existing practice is not suitable for you, one of your customer may be, or one of your supplier may be giving a suggestion that this methodology can be adapted instead of the other methodology, you can do so. See, I gave already example of the Rapido services or the Ola services, Uber services, which they are doing it. This is, you can also know about the Redbus story. So the Redbus story was also like that. The owner of the Redbus was one fine day couldn't get a proper bus for his travel. So he was moving here and there to capture bus, and he don't know where I have to capture the bus and how many number of buses are available for him and what time the buses will start. All these things were continuously his confusion on that particular day. Then he started realizing that something is fishy in that, and this is the area where I have to explore it, and I have to find out the various buses which are starting from Bangalore to various places. And by the way, he started aligning the different networks and find out. At last, now the Red Bus site is framed. Thousands and thousands of passengers, those who are from Bangalore to various places, they are booking it. He is doing only the intermediary service. Even then, it is a solution as a best practice. The companies can organize their supply of products. He was only doing middleman service. The buses, he is not owning any buses, he is not going to travel. Then also, he is just accommodating the people based on the requirements of the seats in the buses, different bus from the different bus providers. So, this type of facilities we have to take into consideration when you are talking about the best practices. You can also find ways and methods to structure your supply chain contours, because the customer ultimately needs what is the competitive gain which I am getting from your product and somebody's product. The competitor may be providing them 5 minutes advance service. You can even see in the hotel industry. When you are going there and waiting for longer time for the food which you ordered it, you may not be liking it. So you may just leave that particular hotel. Even then there was no crowd in future cases. Your perception says that when I am going to this particular hotel, I have to wait for the order and I don't want to go. And by your word of mouth also, you will be communicating to so many people. This is what the position of this particular hotel. So the best practice is that whenever the customer is in need of a particular service or a product on time, so the delivery must be given on time, and the channel what you are distributing should be proper, and the product characteristics should be taken into consideration. And sometimes if you are serving cool food instead of very hard food, that also become a very irritative character for it will create irritativeness in the minds of the customers. So you should also think what is the nature of the product which I am going to serve it, how I am going to satisfy my customer regarding these type of services. So on the whole, the supply chain contours aim to satisfy the customer's needs by adapting the best possible needs and wants or the best possible practices, tools and techniques, or I can say that methods which your competitor may be following it, or your new startups may be following it, or a well-established organization may be following it. No matter who is following that, if it is a best suitable item for your particular industry, you can just directly jump into that and satisfy the customer needs. Based on that only, your future model of business or your business prospects will be. So, on the whole, this will be giving you the brand image as well as the shape, like a Domino's pizza. Within 20 minutes, wherever you will be getting the order. So, they are giving a confidence in the mind of the people. So this is what the best practice in the supply chain we have adapted. So thank you for watching this video. Have a fruitful time in reading the further materials in this regard. If you want further clarifications in this, you can raise questions to me and read this entire material, which will give you an overall idea. Actually, the contours are very easy one to adapt for every company, but the strategy alignment is the little bit tougher part where they cannot align it. So if the company started aligning with the strategy along with the supply chain model, then they will become a successful one. If you want to become an entrepreneur also, then you should consider the supply chain contours along with your the strategies or your business strategies as well as your distribution strategies. So thank you once again for watching this video, and keep on learning with me. Have a fruitful time, and the PDF will serve your purpose.